If you like to filter your water and use one of these in your refrigerator, then you might be interested in how this works for the entire house, and you won't even need this in your refrigerator anymore. So in this video today, we're going to take a look at this. I'm going to show you how I installed this in my house. Not exactly how, but the products I used, and we'll go through that pretty quickly. So hang tight. So we've been using this system for about 3 years, and I installed it in order for us to install a water softener, which that would be another video. But as far as the filtration system goes, I wanted a system that would filter everything coming into the house so that we wouldn't have to use other filters, so that our water would be cleaner, would taste better, and that we would get what we needed out of our water product in every faucet. It would also be better for us, better for our appliances. So I'm going to talk through that just for a few minutes real quickly here. So for me, the prerequisite was being able to do the plumbing. And I had experience with my PEX plumbing that I've done in pretty much my entire house with. And so it was not going to be too big of a deal for me to do it, although it was a pretty intensive job because there are a huge number of connections in just a small space. And so these devices are not cheap. The PEX plumbing is cheap, but the connectors are what will get you in terms of price. And then each of these is a separate filter sold online. And so you'll find that there's quite a bit of initial cost in setting these up, complete with the plates to hold them. They are not light and they need a nice secure place. So I actually built the framing here for them to fit on and then to work through my water system. So the first of these is actually a GE water filter. You can find this one at a lot of stores and hardware stores. And it is the filter that I replace the most. And that's kind of the order of how these go in. And this one's a clear one, so you can actually see when it's dirty or clogged. Along with these, I installed at both the entrance and the exit a water pressure valve just to make sure I wasn't losing water pressure, because I certainly did not want to do this if it meant hurting my whole house water pressure. And I've seen basically no difference. They're usually exactly the same. The next three are Pentek Big Blue filters. And these are larger. These you will probably have to order online. I got mine through Amazon, and I will link to these below. And the plates also that attach them need to be very secure. I've got these tied up here into a 2x6 with nice large bolts, and just to make sure nothing gets out of place. When you have to change these, they are pretty heavy because each of these is full of water and a waterlogged filter. So as you install them, the water goes basically from the larger filter, 30 microns, and it gets smaller and smaller. 5 micron was my smallest. So this one is supposed to be replaced every 2 to 3 months. I don't end up doing it that often because it doesn't look that dirty. These are to be replaced every 6 months. I probably don't do it that often. I've had this about 3 years, so I've had experience now. And then the carbon filter says every 9 months. The carbon filter is the one that when it needs to be replaced, you can tell your water's starting to taste a little bit off. So it is the one that it's almost like it's going to tell you when it's time. I also set up a bypass system for this. So the GE filter comes with its own bypass, so you can adjust it when you're not using it. If you had to turn it off, you could adjust it to where it would go off. And the GE filter also has a reminder for it that you can push, and then it will start flashing when it is time to replace it. But the bypass just allows the water, if I choose, to go through the bypass instead of the filters. So the only time really that I do that is when I'm changing the filters and somebody else is home and might be using the water. Otherwise, I just leave the bypass turned off because I don't want the unfiltered water to invade the system, because it takes 2 or 3 days then for it to work back out if the system is full of that water, especially your hot water heater. I will note that I did a special attachment up here. This is pre-filter and runs to my 2 water hoses. So I did not want to filter the water hose water and did not want to send it through my water softener either. So I sent it out ahead of this, and so it's just for watering the yard, and we don't need to filter that water. So let me answer two questions about the system before I finish up. One, how much does it cost? Well, it's pretty cost intensive up front, but then the yearly maintenance is not bad. It's really not a whole lot more than buying those refrigerator filters. So that's when I was looking at it and kind of adding up the cost, it really just made sense. Hey, we're going to quit buying refrigerator filters. We're going to buy these filters instead, and we're going to get everything in the house filtered. So I like the trade-off. It costs a little bit more. It depends on where you get them, how many times you change them, obviously, how much your water needs to be filtered. The other part is how easy is it? So again, you're going to have to either do some plumbing or have a plumber come do this for you. And you can do it with copper if you would rather do that. Again, my system is PEX, and I already knew how to do that. I had the tools, and so I wanted to go ahead and do these with PEX also. And PEX is a little bit hard to get straight in places, and so it doesn't always look the prettiest, but it's very functional and easy to adjust if you need to. Putting these in, they're heavy. Just making sure you get all of your connections, your fittings right. You don't want your water leaking, even if it's in a basement corner like this. I don't want it leaking. And then the other part is just the heaviness of them. That they're not that heavy to start with before they're filled with water, but then the yearly or every 9 months changing them out is it's a bit intensive in terms of the physical part of it. So you want to, when you change them out, you're going to need a bucket to catch water. You're going to need a towel. You're going to need some cleanup. You're probably going to get wet. So if you do it in the middle of winter, it's pretty unpleasant. If you do it in summer, just watch your fingers and toes. I have caught a finger here or there when these come loose because they are massively heavy, full of water. So how easy is it? Well, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Not nearly as easy as changing a refrigerator filter. So if you're a do-it-yourself person, I think these are the way to go. If you're not a do-it-yourself person, you're not going to like these unless you're having a plumber come in and change it for you a couple times a year. So that's kind of the bottom line. So as long as we're in the basement, we might as well look at this photo of me and Peyton Manning. So here I am, and Peyton is right here next to me, about to take the snap. So, and then there are about 100,000 other people in the photo with us. The picture of Peyton Manning and me stays in the basement. Upstairs we just have pictures of like our kids and family vacations. I don't know. So I hope today's video was helpful, just looking at the products and the setup. I'm not going to do a how-to, but if you'd like to know the numbers, I'm going to put those in the information below, as well as links to these on Amazon. If you're interested, you can do just one. You don't have to do four, but to me, I wanted everything filtered. I wanted to do a system, and this way you filter in order and you can replace if you get a lot of dirt and stuff coming into this one. This keeps your faucets too from getting stopped up where the little screen filter in them. Sometimes it will shut down. You have to take it out and clean it out. That stuff's coming into your water. If you have filters, they take it out. So thanks for watching today.